Secondly, I just noticed that you've not condemned Hamas, and you keep, where was the condemnation for Hamas?
Watch this indoctrinated girl condemn Israel, but then refuse to condemn actual terrorists. This will shock you.
Are you saying that what happened on October the 7th was acceptable?
When you do this,
no, I'm asking
another people in the media do this again. It is to justify. Nothing justifies genocide against the Palestinian people. I'm here to tell you exactly what I think.
But could you just
I'm not going to stand here and condemn Hamas. I'm not going to do that.
So you're not going
I'm going to stand here and condemn the IDF, the occupation, and the role of Western imperialism in that entire region.
So she will condemn the IDF, but she will refuse to condemn Hamas, proscribed terrorists. Unbelievable.
Hang on 1 second, just 1 moment.
I am here to condemn Keir Starmer and David Lammy and the British government and British imperialism's role in this occupation and in this genocide.
You cannot sit there and seriously say you will not condemn Hamas, who have
I can say whatever I like.
Well, you can, but I tell you what, the British public are watching you. The British public are watching you, and if you will not condemn terrorists, people who have caused absolute chaos upon the Palestinian people, the ones that started this conflict, can you see the disdain the British public, the people of Palestine, Jewish people will have for you?
I'm happy to condemn terrorists. Let's start with Keir.
Condemn Hamas.
Let's start with Keir Starmer. Let's start with David Lammy.
Let's start with the people that started this war.
And let's talk about the IDF. Let's talk about the IDF.
Who started the war on October the 7th?
I'll tell you, it began in 1948 with the forced expulsion
No, it did not.
of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians.
Further back than that.
We can get into a historical discussion.
You are
It's not worthwhile.
You are so correct. In fact, the British were entirely involved
in
setting up the Zionist state. They were entirely involved in that. So British imperialism historically is responsible for those crimes, and today it is still responsible for those crimes. And what makes you so angry, actually, is the fact that more people support people like Bob Villan, more people in Britain actually want to see an end to the occupation. They don't support Britain sending arms to Israel.
What people want, Fiona, is an end to war. And they don't support Bob Villan spouting out vile anti-Semitism. I don't want you to sit here and call the British public racist and anti-Semitic, because they do not support Bob. You just said the vast majority of people support what Bob Villan said. You just said that. And they do not overwhelmingly. I'm upset that there's a man who's been given a platform to spout anti-Semitism.
But you're not upset about 100,000 Palestinians.
Who said that?
Absolutely unbelievable. That girl Fiona there on GB News with Nana Akua and Alex Armstrong. Alex was kind enough to send me some of the not so kind messages that were sent his way as a consequence of his line of questioning there on GB News. Now let's be clear, Alex was just saying to her, how on earth can you condemn the IDF but refuse to condemn proscribed terrorists? And this is the response he gets. Hello mate, can I have the opportunity to smash your teeth into your skull soon, please? Effing melt. If you had any bollocks to talk like that at a Palestinian demo, we'd see where it got you. Mug, enjoy being on the wrong side of history along with Adolf Ndeman Wanker. Okay, so let's get this straight. In this bloke's eyes, if you think that Hamas are bad and you think that Hamas are terrorists, that makes you Adolf Hitler. What state of the world are we living in? Where if you condemn a terrorist organisation, a prescribed terrorist organisation, that makes you essentially Adolf Hitler. I mean, you can't make it up. Let's take a look at another message that he got, or messages. 3, repeating the same. Absolutely disgusting. And then I had a little look at the Twitter. We've got someone who calls themselves Testosterone Producer on X, says, stop soy raging about a teenager being young and radical. I thought conservatives were meant to have thicker skin. Hamas is literally the government of the Gaza Strip. It's pretty hard to support Palestinians without supporting them. You don't gotta support every action they do. Okay, this person can't speak English, clearly. I'm sorry, But you don't have to support Hamas to support the Palestinian people. In fact, I would say that is contradictory, and that if you care about the Palestinian people, you should want to free them from the horrible, tyrannical, terrorist, extremist regime that is Hamas. Okay? Let's be very, very clear. Hamas is a regime. Pride Month has just come to an end, so let's just remind ourselves. Hamas definitely don't allow a Pride Month in the Gaza Strip, and they will throw you off a building if you are gay. If you're a woman, your freedoms are massively curtailed. You are very much impoverished if you live under Hamas. Hamas were shooting people who were trying to flee to safety when the IDF were telling Palestinians where to go to avoid being killed in any attacks. They would tell them where to go, and then Hamas would block the roads and say, "I'll shoot you if you try and come down this road." Hamas, until they've now set up these new aid distribution centres, were stealing the food that was being delivered into Gaza to feed the Palestinians, to keep them well fed and healthy. They were taking it and stealing it and eating like kings, and then selling the food at extortionate prices to Palestinians. The food is meant to be free. It's being provided as aid by various organisations. But no, that is who Hamas are. So if you support the Palestinian people, you should not be supporting Hamas. So this person is an idiot. Alex said if you support Hamas, which you just alluded to, a prescribed terror group who committed a mass terrorist attack on October 7th, then you're just as guilty of being a useful idiot as the rest of them. Well said. And you know what's interesting with all of these people, right, is every single one doesn't have their face in their profile picture. It's always people hiding behind a faceless account that are willing to say these absolutely ludicrous, horrid things online. They are completely brainwashed by the Hamas propaganda machine. And what I find funny is, look, this girl Fiona, I don't know her, but I wouldn't be surprised if she considers herself a feminist as well. Okay? You've got people these young people who consider themselves to be feminists going and supporting an organisation which not only massively curtails the freedoms of women in the place that they govern, but also an organisation, she's refusing to condemn an organisation which on October 7th was raping and murdering so many young women in the most vile and disgusting ways. The people who have been able to see the footage are just traumatized from seeing the footage, let alone being there. You cannot call yourself a feminist whilst also refusing to condemn Hamas. What is going on with the young people these days? So easily brainwashed. Anyway, let me know what you think of that in the comments below. I think it's absolutely gobsmacking. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you for watching this video. That was a clip of Alex Armstrong and Nana Akua speaking to I'd say, pro-Hamas girl, Fiona, on GB News. Make sure you subscribe to Reasoned if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.